From Craig Rolson in Europe, David Gerber in Brazil, and our editor-in-chief and publisher, Don Oshman, it's time for this week's Sunday Night Week in Review.
Good evening. It's Sunday night, November 2nd. Happy November 2014. My name is Don Oshman, editor-in-chief and publisher of HideNet Market Reports. Thanks for tuning in tonight. In Europe this week, Craig Rolson, our European editor, reports that there was a weaker undertone in some selections, a little bit of softening in some selections. Not everything. The automotive is still strong, but some of the other items are not. Leather demand, Craig analyzed and said that people say to him, and it's a common knowledge now over there, that the booming leather business from 2 years ago, while not gone away, is not what it was. It's not as booming as it was, and it's slowing. We hear that from other parts of the world as well. Hide producers are already planning for the Christmas holidays, especially in Italy, where everything closes for 2-3 weeks, and they've got to get their shipments in and get their money in and liquidate their inventory and so on and so forth. And of course, the tanneries don't want to have any inventory on hand when they close down. So, especially at these prices, that exacerbates the normal situation. The kills are trending higher, which is normal in the winter in Europe, and hide weights are increasing as well. It's a large price disparity between the two major markets for UK and especially Northern European productions. Big price disparity of many selections between China and Italy, the two big markets. So you'd think it'd be the same thing after you calculate for the freight and all that, but it's not. So that's a little bit of confusion. In fact, we had that in the States this year too, this week, but we'll go back to that. Vealskin demand is lower. Those prices are showing a little bit of pressure, and the market's trending lower, and it's causing some confusion in values there too. So things aren't just automatic every week, one week to the next. There's some up and down movement, which is making it difficult for some or an opportunity for others. In North America this week, steer prices were mixed, as similar to Europe. Some things were a little bit down. There was a disparity between Texas steers sold at one price, $108 in one case, $110 in another case. Branded steers, $2, $3, $4 disparity. Very unusual and very treacherous, you might say, if you're on the wrong end of that. That also doesn't help business. China, United States Hide Leather Association finally got a negotiation to let Chinese embargo on American sows and pigskins lifted, and now you can take these skins into China, which hasn't been the case for years. We hear also from China and other countries in the Far East, LCs are slow, not because of the market, because the financing is so difficult for so many tanners to get enough money to get money to open their letters of credit. Also, there's a back and forth for months now. The workers in the West Coast ports in the U.S. are working without a contract, and there's slowdowns. So a lot of shippers in the Midwest and other parts of the United States tell us they have a tough time getting containers. And if you can't get a container, you can't ship your hides, and that's one reason why shipments were down probably lately. The USDA reports exports for the week ending October 23rd were higher than slaughter. That's a refreshing thing. It hasn't been that way for a long time. It's one of the few weeks that this happened in the last 6 months. Meanwhile, shipments were below slaughter, which is not good, but in part because of the LC situation and the shipping slowdown vis-a-vis the West Coast ports. Shipments rose, however, 24%. And the same thing on the week of 23rd, but not this time. There's a story in our report this week why branded cows are so hard to move. How there's a record disparity between branded cow prices, for example, and branded heifer prices. Historic highs between branded cows and other selections. They're so cheap. If they were cheap, people would grab them, but they're not. Where the bottom is on the American branded cow market remains to be seen because supply greatly exceeds demand. Also, year-to-date slaughter continues to be low. It's now 7.2% from a year ago at the same time, and that's just shy of 2 million hides. That's a lot of leather that's not going to be made. Latin America this week, in Brazil, the kill is down because two of the most productive regions are besieged with a drought, and there's not enough cattle. It's just down, that's all. We report on that in detail. Also in Brazil, the wood blue and crust prices are on the lower side of steady, but there's not much business, especially to Europe, because again, they're thinking about by the time you get the order, you make the leather, you ship it, which takes a long time to get to Europe or China for that matter. And they've got Golden Week coming up in February, not that far away. So activity pace of activity has slowed tremendously because in Europe especially, nobody wants inventory, same thing as in Europe. So typical holiday situation. Argentina, the market's steady, but a lot of people think the prices could be a little bit lower in the coming week or two. The CICB, which is the Brazilian Tanners Association, say that their association members' sales have slowed to Europe. Has slowed, period. And the Brazilian domestic market is almost non-existent. So the footwear industry in Brazil are not buying much in the way of leather, crust, etc. Finished leather. And this week in Leather Report, we talk about U.S. retail footwear prices, which were up a little bit in September from August. Also, a story about a Taiwanese footwear maker who was making a major investment in a factory in the Dominican Republic. People are always looking for cheaper or better opportunities to make their manufacturing, and the paradigm change of China being the world's beam house and factory is slowly and gradually changing. Also, we have a report on Kering, the luxury leather product maker, where sales were up, but by the same token, their competitor Puma and Gucci reported lower sales declines for the quarter ending in September and October. There's also reports on the quarterly results of Deckers, Lear, which is now in the upholstery business, vis-a-vis Eagle Ottawa, and Coach. Their business is not as good as it was. Also, a Scottish Leather Group reported, we have a report on their quarterly earnings in last Wednesday edition of This Week in Leather. Our international report, our new international report, where we cover news from 15 countries. One is Australia, New South Wales, 3840 kilos. We're offered at $105 CNF. China, statistics where China says that their footwear and leather exports are up. There's a story on that. There's another story on Colombia, which says leather goods and finished goods sales are up over last year. There's another story about a new packer in Russia, a report on a Spanish footwear show, and some smuggling taking place in Tanzania. Now, coming up, don't forget, in the next month, we're going to have the HideNet International Leather Forum, interactive, where you can hear the speakers, send them questions during the live broadcast, and we're going to have a lot of serious discussions about many aspects that are concerned, it's all in the hide and leather trade. Well, more details on that coming up soon. Sorry we're so long tonight, but there's a lot of news. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at the same time, same station next week. Thank you.